Thanks for that, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we go on and talk about some new cards, some custom cards that some of our viewers and patrons put together. This is Mekkatorque's workshop, so we get a chance to take a look at maybe some new concepts that, I don't know, maybe Blizzard can get some ideas from or whatever. So today we've got one from Raydan, one from Josiah L, and one from, oh man, I'm going to totally brutalize his name. Stinge? How do you pronounce Stijn, guys? Stan? Stin?
Stig. S-T-I-J-N.
Stygian.
Okay, oh my god, I'm gonna tell that's so bad. Hopefully, if we totally brutalize it, let us know. Because, anyways, this is Raydan's Chromie. It's a 6-mana mage card, 5/5 dragon. It's a dragon? Really? And Battlecry, reset your deck. Okay.
First of all, it shouldn't be a dragon.
Yeah, it has to
in human form.
That is a girl. Yeah, that's a gnome, actually, I think. So
Chromegus.
Chromegus? Oh, Chromegus.
Yeah. Rathian is a dragon, but they have him classified as human.
Yeah.
But like
some of them have human form.
Yeah, so. Like if he wants the dragon version, he's got to be like doing the dragon version of Chromie. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
I've said my 2 cents on that.
That's the DisguisedToast I know right there.
Reset your deck. So I'm guessing you just get 30. You get 30
You get
cards.
the original 30 cards back, like into your deck. So I guess the question is that a good thing? Because it sounds like a good thing, right? Like, but I don't know if actually it is.
I think so, because unlike all the other effects, like compared to Benedictus, where you're taking someone else's deck and you know they might have stuff that doesn't synergize with yours, you're resetting your deck. I can see like situations where it's actually really valuable. For example, where you draw on like most of your good stuff, because you know in Hearthstone there's like 20 good cards in your deck and then 10 cards that's decent. But if you get a situation where you like draw the best cards, then you can technically increase the average of your card quality by resetting your deck. Since you're not adding your original deck to your old deck, right? It's just here's the 30 cards you had originally. So
yeah,
it's hard.
It's close, actually. It's
like, so if you're in Fatigue and you play this, you just get 30 cards because that'd be OP.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. If you draw Chromie on your like with 1 card left or no cards left, you get 30 cards back into your deck. So
yeah, for sure. Like something like a Fatigue Mage would love this stuff. You don't have Dead Man's Hand or Jade Idol, but if you're playing Fatigue Mage, you just like the funny thing is the game will end before you have a chance to draw through your second deck, assuming you're not like fast cycling. Because there's like 45 turns in a game of Hearthstone. So like you can be like drawing through halfway. And it's like suddenly the game just explodes. It's like, oh wow. But yeah, it looks fun. And since Chromie also puts Chromie back into your deck, if you play this deck against another deck running Chromie, then
oh man.
It's but that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
The time.
It's okay. I think you sold me. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but me personally as a player, like I don't want to play like a 50-minute game here, so I'd probably shy away from the card because I'm not a huge fan of Fatigue Warrior. That's just me as a player, so I don't hate the card, but I wouldn't play it probably. So
I mean, you'd have to put like a ton of draw in whatever deck it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise it's debatable whether it's good, because if you, even though it's the cards that you picked for synergy with the cards that you have in hand or whatnot, you still have a bunch of 1 and 2 drops and crap like that have no influence on the game at the end. So you have to take that into account too. You're actually adding those cards into your potential draw for, I don't know, some kind of end game card that you're looking for. Like let's say you're looking for Antonidas or something like that, or Kazakis or something.
If it was really like skill intensive, mirror match, situation, maybe once you're in high legend and you're playing a 50-minute game, it actually could be cool. But in normal, like grinding for legend or just playing on ladder like that, you couldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you might get a situation where it's like 2 Archaeologists, 2 Ice Blocks, all freeze, all draw, and 1 Chromie, and you just literally never die.
Well,
never die.
It's who can run out of ice blocks first, like at the right moment, right? Yeah.
Because you'll never fatigue with Chromie, right?
Yeah.
And you can just freeze, ice block, Archaeologist, ice block. Like that.
That's when you play Hunter. That's when you keep playing Hunter and steady shotting. Every 15 turns of steady shotting. Yeah, that's awesome. No, but it's definitely an interesting concept, though. I think that it's kind of cool to think about for sure. So thanks, Raydan, for that. Next up, we've got Mystic Seer from Josiah. And this is yet another Mage card. So Mage is just popular today. 3 mana, epic card, 0/5, so no attack. You play with the top card of your deck revealed. You may play it as if it were in your hand. Okay, so I guess Mystic Seer essentially gives you another card. So not only do you get to see your top card, you can actually play it if you want too. So a little bit different than actually drawing. Worse, it's actually worse than actually drawing the card itself into your hand. Unless you have 10 cards in your hand. But for the most part, I think it's worse because, but kind of interesting. I mean, being able to see the top card and I mean, obviously being able to play it.
So it just reveals it? I'm a little confused still. It just reveals the top card.
I think in his description of this, by the way, I think your opponent also can do it.
See it? Yeah. So you can just decide to use it for free, or you can just let it come into your hand?
It's not free.
It's not free.
Still costs mana. Yeah.
Okay.
It still costs mana.
So if it was a 10 mana card and you looked at it and you're on turn 3,
yeah,
it would just go into your hand.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And your opponent also sees it.
Yeah. So if it's like a dirty rat or something, like your opponent's like, oh, shit. Oh crap. Yeah. So
It costs 3 mana.
I get that idea. I think there's a more elegant way to do it, but basically,
yeah, I think so too. But
imagine if you're playing a real card game with physical. It's like you basically have the top card of your deck flipped over at all time, and if you want, you can play it. Like, the top card of my deck is a Frostbolt. Let me pay 2 mana and play that Frostbolt, and then I flip over the next card on the top of my deck.
Well, another thing I believe in his explanation is that not only does your opponent see your top card, he sees, like, both of you guys see the top card of both decks. So his deck too is revealed too. I think that's what he meant it to be. Yeah, he meant it to be like that. Yeah. So gotcha. I think that's one of the reasons why it's a 0 attack card too. So you can't actually get rid of it if it's bad for you and you played it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be harder to get rid of, so there's maybe a little bit of a conflict there too.
I don't know how much play it would see because it's sort of just an information card, and I guess somewhat a card draw mechanic. So like card draw, a little bit of information.
Yeah.
But where would you put this? Is that information and potential card draw actually worth it kind of thing? Like I don't hate the concept, but in practice, I just don't know if it would find a place because it's not like the information.
I mean, the closest thing I can think of is Quest Mage, like just needing to know, like if you're getting the cards you need, right, coming up soon. But
I think there's some potential in some kind of a miracle setup because if you have like a lot of very cheap cards, you can technically just keep playing that top card over and over again, right? You play, a Wisp, and then it flips over a Snow Flipper Penguin, and you play the Snow Flipper Penguin, and you keep like playing cards off the top because it keeps getting flipped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I see potential in that department where essentially you're making it into a draw engine, but you kind of build around it. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Next up, we got Finn the Curious from Stinge. Stinge.
Stygian.
Yeah. It's a legend card. It's not a class card, so it's a neutral card. 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry. Discover a minion with the cost equal to your opponent's number of mana crystals.
Oh, that's fun. Discover a minion with the cost equal. Okay, yeah. So on turn 4, you discover a Yeti, or on their turn 4, like you could discover 4 attack. Huh.
Well, you could discover like Deathwing, like possibly.
Wait, hold on. Discover a minion with cost equal to your opponent's.
Discover. Oh, with cost equal to your. Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you played on 3 against a Jade Druid, you can discover Deathwing.
So it's kind of like Amber, but it's based on your opponent's. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool if your opponent doesn't get that extra mana crystal until it's actually his turn, right? So if he just finished his like turn 3, he doesn't officially get that extra mana crystal until his next turn starts, right? Okay. So it'd still be 3. Okay. So you can't just like go second and then just like get a 4-drop, for instance, ready for.
I mean, if you're going first, you technically discover 2 mana minion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. I think this is, late. I mean, I think it works in the like mid game, works late game, so it's kind of a cool card. I think a lot of people would run this like as a draw card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna give him some real advice. Capitalize your attacks.
Discover. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed like a lot of people like to do like custom cards, and it's great. But like the biggest thing that makes a really cool card a bit unpolished is when they don't just match what Blizzard does, which is like capitalization of Discover and Mana Crystal. It's like this could look official. Like the best compliment to like custom cards, like wow, this looks like a real card. It looks like fun. But when like small,
there's little flaws in that.
It kind of takes you out of it. It's like, oh, it's a custom card. It's not. It doesn't look legit, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's very balanced, and I don't know if he'll see play, but random cards like this, where it's balanced and it's discover, and you can get a clutch minion based on opponent's mana crystal, because you gotta know like what cards you can get. Like, oh, he's on turn 7 mana. What are my options? Is there a card that costs 7 mana that can save me here? Kind of deal. But,
could this combo with any rogue? You know how Ethereal Peddler? Aren't there some cards that work based on discount? Of your opponent's cards you discovered. Sorry, that sentence did not make sense at all. But you get what I'm saying.
I don't think this count. I don't think this would count.
It would. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not discovering a class card, right? It's just discover any card. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if there would be, from that standpoint, but I mean, I think this card is just good. I mean, I think it would have to be understated a bit more. Like, you just discover a great card at the end of the game. Like, a lot of people would run this card in a control deck.
Right. It's just a control card, extra, and 3 mana, 2/4 in stats isn't too bad. So
yeah, I mean, you get a 10-drop late game. It's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, thanks guys for the cards. Obviously, send those in if you guys have any ideas that just on your own. Go ahead and send those to valuetown@chanmanv.tv, and we'll take a look at them. Okay, next up, guys, we've got the host challenge, which is we got Jebaited and Jebaited. Sorry, I totally got.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to skip over that or like.
Actually, I totally changed my order in this note, so I got confused. But Allie, you wanted to talk about 2 cards this week.
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you lead into?
Take it away.
Yeah.
All right, so for underrated and Jebaited, I have 2 cards. Evolving Spores and Giant Wasp. I saw Evolving Spores. Okay, they might be Jebaited, but that's why we're here to talk about it.
Exactly.
in one of the HCT matches, someone, I think it was a rogue, they got Evolving Spores, and it probably gave them lethal. And then the other day, I was playing my mage list with the least, and I discovered an Evolving Spores from the pack, and it gave me Wind Fury on my water elementals, and obviously it's a druid card. But I do think that we can discuss if it has a place in an aggro druid, or I don't know. I think the adapt, gentle Megastore is obviously incredibly powerful, and so maybe Evolving Spores is a little underrated. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's
well, I can start. I this is the one card I was, I don't know, a bit delusional about. I think when we were first reviewing it, because I actually had this notion that Evolving Spores would be good, and and it was kind of similar to what you're talking about. Like Megastore obviously is good, but Megastore is good because it's a body too, right? That's like the biggest issue. So the consistency aspect is the biggest knock against Evolving Spore. I think the fact that you can create potential combo situations, like there's a scenario where this is like another Savage Roar, right? Just with Wind Fury or +1, even +1/+1 is like really, really good too. Like
+3.
Yeah, +3 also. I mean, those are all really good scenarios. And so like those situations, I think, this thing is unbelievable. So it really depends on the consistency of which you can fit, get on board and actually be able to play this, because at 4 stats, it has to be, it's basically a Bloodlust. You have to set it up like that. It's Bloodlust without the consistency of it always finishing. But I kind of look at it more like a Bloodlust, and Druid has a harder time creating that scenario than Shaman does. So
there's Savage Roar, but
there is, but Savage Roar, even Savage Roar, right? Like it's cheaper for one, and it's consistent, like at what it does. So that Savage Roar is like a good Bloodlust. It's like better than Bloodlust. So Evolving Spores is probably, I don't know. It's hard to gauge it. My inclination is that it's worse than Bloodlust, just because the versatility isn't necessarily what you would want to use it for. You would want to use it for a specific reason, and the consistency in getting that specific reason is not like, it's probably like 50%. It's not very super, it's not super high. So for me, it's Jebaited, but I still have those.
That's why we have this
scenarios. I was completely wrong about when I was predicting about it. So I definitely have, hopes for it in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is the consistency issue. Like, I mean, if you compare it to Bloodlust, it's literally a better Bloodlust because it stays around, the attack bonus. But
okay, I give you that. Yeah.
The situations where you just row, it can't be targeted, stealth or taunt. It's like, it's so
not worth the card, maybe.
Not worth it. Like when you compare it to Gentle Megastore, like Gentle Megastore stat wise is just a 4 mana 5/4. Like it's already decent stats, and the adaptation is just, wow, here's a whole extra benefit that's worth essentially. It's essentially a battle cry, Evolving Spores, your Murloc, right?
Yep.
I think the potential there. I think the situations where Evolving Spores make a difference is usually in those like unexpected scenarios. So like a rogue or a priest getting Evolving Spores randomly, like, and they can afford to like spend 4 mana playing Evolving Spores. Like, but if you try to do it,
card.
Yeah, essentially, it's just a bonus. You get it from Ungro pack, but like against using it in Token Druid, where you're like, I'm trying to cram in all these token stuff, and my opponent's all he cares about is just destroying my board because he wants to play around Market Notice, Pop the Wild. But like, if you're a priest or you're a rogue, and you have like, say a Tempo Rogue, you got like 3 pirates and 1 Tar Creeper. Like most people don't think that's scary, but Evolving Spores, that's like suddenly it's such a threatening board, right? So
maybe a little bit more on the Jebaited side.
Yeah, I was Jebaited from the begin with, so I have to say,
I thought we might come to that conclusion. So, all right. Well, the next one is Giant Wasp. Decided to throw this one in there because I was watching my friend stream like Top 100 Legend, and this guy played a giant wasp in his Kazakus priest, and it actually kind of wrecked him a little bit. Like it slowed down his tempo quite a bit. And I just was like, oh, maybe we should talk about it. So yeah, what do you guys think about giant wasp?
It's an interesting one because it's like so devastating in the arena.
Right.
When you think about what you deal with, like how do your meta decks deal with this? Rogues can't deal with it. Rogues can't do AoE damage, especially 2 AoE damage. Priest easily kills this with like Horror or Nova or Spell Power Lash or Dragonfire Potion. But against Druid, the tough thing is finding a target worth running your Wasp into. Like if you're running into like a 9/9 Jade that they got from a Jade Idol, it's great, but you're in a situations where there's someone
You're
in
in a
one
bad
mana.
spot.
Yeah, you don't want to use it against Aya because like it pops out another minion. But against something like Temple Rogue, I imagine it'd be really annoying because they want to set up that big minion for Bone Mare or like buff up the Tar Creeper. I haven't tried it, but I don't think Giant Wasp can ever be bad. Worst case scenario, it's a 3-mana minion that will guarantee a trade. And sometimes it does mess up the players. Like, oh, I was going to drop this big minion like my Lich King, but that's that Wasp sitting there, since turn 3 that I don't want to play into.
Yeah. I think it's I think the consistency of the value is really, really good. I think the high end, like the ceiling for it, is very low though. Like there's not much more that you can do than either trade a big one or get a 2-for-1. Or maybe like a turn and a half, into the Wasp. Like maybe he trades into something small and then they have to use a spell to kill it. Something like that, right? So you're not going to get much better than that. I mean, the best cases I see are like Hound Mastering this, with Hunter, and I don't know, trying to do something even bigger with that. Maybe you even like adapt this in some way. There's like not much that it can even survive by itself anyways. But it's a solid card, it's just not a broken card. So I would say underrated. I think it's underrated in Standard. Yeah. It's very good in Arena. I think a lot of people think that already.
It's easy to clear, but at the same time, like if they use their entire Shadowed Horror on it,
oh yeah,
it's
that's
like
great. I mean,
that's not bad. And you probably wouldn't want to dump this into a giant, like a really good Dragonfire board. You're not like, oh, here's all my minions. Oh, and I'll throw in my Wasp too. It's supposed to just be annoying. And people aren't playing Primordial Drake as much in Jade Druids. I was like, I commended the guy for, giving it a shot. So it might be a little underrated. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's a tiny bit underrated, and there are a lot of cards like Giant Wasp, that I feel like are good value. It's just the ceiling isn't high enough to be broken, so they're just not played, And so
I would agree with that.
We only
for sure.
see those cards in Arena, and that's what's so great about Arena. I don't want the format to change much, So them taking away synergy, that's awesome. I like it better, when they're doing stuff like that.
This is kind of going away from underrated and Jebaited, but we didn't talk about the dual arena, did we?
I don't think so. No,
the dual arena.
I don't think. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
We can just talk about it real quick. So basically, starting on October 24th, you can pick a hero and have another hero's hero power. It's like an October Halloween event.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know how long it goes for, but it starts the 24th.
So which one
that'll
would
be
you choose?
interesting.
Basically. Which one would you choose?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Like the hero power, you want
choose
the Warlock.
Yeah, you gotta choose Warlock, right?
Yeah, and then the cards, like
Mage?
Warlock hero power is just insane. Yeah, Mage maybe. So like
Maybe Mage and Warlock.
I mean, wouldn't it be Priest? What are we talking about here, right? Like, wouldn't you want to play
hero
Priest?
power-
Well, yeah, you could.
And then you can just change
This
your
is
hero power
arena,
to.
though. This is.
This is Arena.
It's
okay.
arena. Yeah, so it's not like you're building
yeah,
a construction deck.
yeah. Live tap and Mage. Yeah, that's exactly.
Probably.
That sounds like a beautiful combination. The best class with the best hero power. That sounds
Yep.
great.
Yeah,
Sounds
like
good.
Firelands, Portal, Flame Strike, Meteors, Glyphs, and just tap, 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 tap,
Tap,
tap.
tap, tap, tap.
Oh my
Tap,
gosh,
tap
sounds like a
revenge.
nightmare right already.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like potentially crazy combos because like I can't think of any off the top of my head, but when you're combining class cards from 2 different classes, there's bound to be something really ridiculous. It's unfortunate Innovate got nerfed because I'm sure everyone would love to be able to innovate out like certain class cards, like innovate out Firelands.
But
But
aren't you taking your opponent's hero power?
Yeah,
No.
but you can also have no, it's not taking your opponent's hero power. It's just merging 2 classes together basically, and you can play or you can draft cards from both classes.
Yeah, you choose the 2 classes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then is it Warlock? You get both class cards too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if it actually is that right then. I mean, the hero power clearly, but I wouldn't want the Warlock cards.
Yeah,
Garbage.
the Warlock
They're
cards
totally
are
garbage.
slightly below average.
No love for the demons.
There's a few good ones, but honestly, I mean, you're just skipping over the bad ones, right? There's like Flame Imp and Abyssal and Hellfire and Defile. There's quite a few good Warlock cards, but
these are all removal cards, basically. Yeah.
The hero power is just so insane, right? And if you can maybe combine with a class that can survive, because like one of the downside is obviously just setting yourself so low that you get bursted down sometimes. So like if you combine the Warlock, like Paladin or like Priest with healing, Warrior with healing, Druid with armor. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it should be fun.
There's gonna be a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah. Hopefully a lot of good videos and clips come from it. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, well, anyways, thanks for getting back to Underrated and Jebaited. Thanks, Sally, for bringing those 2 cards. That was definitely good to check out.
Diversion.
Yeah, diversion. No, it's good that we talk about it because I'm obviously all over the place today with the notes. But kind of getting on to the host challenge. This is where we pose a challenge to you guys, the audience, and then have you guys come back or at least screenshot show us that if you guys have met the challenge. Last week was getting. This is like right up Toast's alley too, by the way. But last week it was just all about who could get 5 Elise packs in their deck. And so this was the debate last week. So me, Jackie, and Allie, we get together every single week, we plan these things, right? And we were talking, and I think the first thing we talked about, Allie, was just that 3, right? We were just talking about 3 at first. And I was like, no way, 3 is like 3 is like way too easy. Like, no way. So we were
Jackie
like, okay.
and I thought it was gonna be super hard.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, and then they were like 5, and I'm like, I still think 5 might be a little too easy, but let's go with 5. Okay, right? So we all end up going with 5. So posted out there. We got lots of people. I mean, just to name some of them: Adam C, Mason C, Fierce, Alex M, that came up with like these 5 packs. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Like a lot of people enjoyed it. Like overall, this is our most successful host challenge. So we got Mason, C here, and we've got like Alex M here with 5, right, and Adam C here too, also with 5. But then people are like, I'm gonna try harder. Like we're gonna try to step it up, like big time, right? And so we threw it out there. So I think somebody got 7, but then Andy L posted up. Bam, a 10, like right there, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so he did.
Go, Andy.
He did all 10. It's like, he did this on like Saturday, and it's like, Andy, you win, dude. Like that totally. He like I tweeted that to him.
He's at 1 health. He's about to die.
Yeah,
but...
like you totally win, right? And then Raydan today, boom,
11.
He got 11.
Wow.
Officially. I mean, being able to get that screenshot, man, you have to give him 11 for that. So he ended up getting 11. So that was the mark that nobody ended up beating. So congrats to Raydan for being number 1 in this host challenge. But now it's time to come up with a new challenge. And I kind of have a challenge here, but since you're our guest, Toast, can you think of a challenge where they can kind of compete with each other to try to one-up each other? Anything good that you can think of? You come up with crazy ass challenges on your stream, so like nothing too crazy with the patches.
You have a backup if you can't
you
think
do
of
some
one.
good yeah.
Well, I'm not sure you guys know this, but I've have been playing around with this card called Meat Wagon.
Oh God, we just did Meat Wagon.
Oh, you guys did Meat Wagon?
No, what's the challenge? What's the actual challenge?
though?
What's the actual challenge?
Pull out a 10-cost minion with Meat Wagon.
Oh.
Pull out a 10-cost.
Pull out a 10-cost minion with Meat Wagon.
Wait, is it? If it's possible, don't tell us, and we'll make it the challenge.
Is it easy or not? If it's easy, if it's just a matter of just going and building a deck to do it, then.
I mean, it's the way to do it is very simple, right?
Oh,
Just
see,
buff
we don't
a
want
minion.
simple. We actually want something that they can own up each other. So,
Oh.
yeah.
All right.
Well, then maybe.
We can just go with the one I have down here. But
What do you have?
I have, so the thing I have here is basically post your biggest Cthulhu that you can create on your own. Not a custom game, none of this like, Toast versus Disguised business, none of that stuff, right? Like an actual real, it can be in casual mode, or it could be on ladder and that sort of stuff, or in wild. But like, what's the biggest Cthulhu you can post and screenshot and send us? So that's the challenge, because you would think it's obvious, but it's actually not obvious if you post it on cards. Yeah.
The biggest Cthulhu you can pull out of your deck with Meat Wagon.
Okay.
So you need to match your Meat Wagon to the attack of the Cthulhu you have buffed up.
That's
What? Wait, what? The biggest Cthulhu you can bring out with Meat Wagon?
Meat Wagon. So you have to buff your Cthulhu to a point where
Oh, you have to buff your
It
Meat
can't be
Wagon.
you have to also buff your Meat Wagon out to
Oh,
be
that's-
slightly higher. That's very troll, because most of the time you're gonna pull out your non-Cthulhu minion, but that makes it super hard, right? Because you also can't draw your
God.
Cthulhu.
all right. Bonus points if you can do that.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah. We'll have a double kind of challenge. Okay. We'll have. Oh my God.
We'll call it the
Okay.
toast element.
Yeah,
like,
we'll
if you
have
can
the
host
biggest
level.
Cthulhu, just kind of normal. If you can win that, that's our regular host. And then we have the toast challenge, which is the biggest Cthulhu you can pull out with a Meat Wagon. So,
Okay.
wow,
like
that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be real hard. No, that should be a lot of fun. A lot of you guys participated this week. It was actually really, really awesome having a lot of you guys just submit your hosts challenge. So hopefully you guys can do the same thing here. Got a couple Q&A questions today that I figured we'd go through and then kind of end the show. Richard M has a question. Was building a deck and trying to come up, I guess he was building a deck and trying to come up with a tech card versus Highlander. Back in TGT days, I would sometimes run Beneath the Grounds. Do you think that will get an anti-Highlander card on the next expansion? Do you feel that it is something lacking from the cards available in Standard? And how do you build a counter, how do you build a counter to Highlander decks right now? So, do we need a card like Beneath the Grounds to counter Raza and Kazakh?
So, just a question: is Highlander just a name?
Yeah,
for,
Highlander is like a
for
Kazakh.
just Kazakis.
Yeah,
Okay,
because there can
that's
only
weird.
be
Okay.
one. That's the
There
whole
can
thing.
only be one. Okay, got it. Well, I would say that they probably won't go as far as to like build a counter card like Geist or Galaka Crawler, because Raza will be rotating out, and I don't think that Highlander decks are really an issue beyond that.
Yeah.
So I'd say that they probably won't do that. But I loved the card Beneath the Grounds, though. Like,
Yeah, I love that card too.
yeah, that was a great card. So if they did print an anti-Highlander card, yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think there should be something, because right now,
Really?
there's no hate card against Highlander Priest or Raza Priest besides dirty ratting out the Raza, and that's so like specific, because once they draw Raza on 5, that card is coming down on 5. So like at any point it's past turn 5, like you can never. It's almost impossible to rat it out, because the second they draw it, they're most likely going to play it. So I wish there was a card that essentially puts a wrench in that plan more consistent. Like Guys for Jebaited was a bit too harsh, but yeah, something like Beneath the Ground. I think if there was a neutral card that does Beneath the Ground effect, I would actually play it. Just
Yeah.
because I feel like I want to be able to have a way to at least stop them. And double Weasel Tunneler is not a good solution.
What are you talking about? That's totally.
What are you talking
legit.
about?
That's totally
Of course
legit.
it's a good solution.
That's totally legit. No, I mean, we're not about the hate here. So I don't love hate cards, but I think if it was kind of like beneath it, like if it was like Weasel Tunneler, but you only needed one to, so it was somewhere between Beneath the Grounds and Weasel Tunneler where you put 2 cards in their deck, then I think I would be a little bit more okay with it. So that it does like stunt them for a little bit, you know, like, and it's kind of random as to how long it stunts them, but it doesn't completely just kill them. Like I don't like cards that just completely kill a build, especially one where, you know, you designed 3 or 4 cards to be completely about, you know, this type of deck building archetype. It'd be self-defeating in a way to do that. Yeah, you know what I mean? They invested a lot into doing this, right? So they're legend cards and everything like that. Cruel and Kazakus and Raza. So if they are to do it, just do it like, you know, a little bit better than Weasel, but not as like brutal as Beneath the Grounds. Because Beneath the Grounds is basically killing it. Like you're not going to draw 2 of these new. I never draw 2 new Rubians out of these whenever I have like a Kazakus deck. But yeah, overall, yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal to me. I mean, right now the biggest issue is just Raza's ability. If Raza's ability wasn't that right now, you know, like if the hero power wasn't 0, everything would be like completely fine. Like with that deck and just the hero, like the Anduin and everything. It's just Raza being free is just crazy broken, like crazy good. How do you build a deck to counter it right now? Like, is there anything to counter it outside of speed?
Quest Mage and Jade Druids are common. Like they have good win rates against Priest. Those are the 2 off the top of my head that does well against them. And Big Priest and Ram Druid.
Yeah, big stuff.
Even Dragon, I've been playing Dragon Priest and it does pretty well against it.
Dragon Priest.
Dragon Priest, it does pretty well.
I mean, the reason people play Scalebane is just because it doesn't die to Dragon
Fire
Potion. Yeah, Dragon Fire Potion. So
play Dragon decks. There you go.
There you go.
Counter.
There you go. Yeah, play Dragon decks and then throw in a Geist in there just to kill.
Geist, Dirty Rat, Dragon deck. Yeah. There we go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make my anti-Kazakus Priest Dragon Priest with all these cards.
We've all had our days, man. I play all those cards and Mindbreaker too. It's just like, you're not gonna beat me next time you play me. I promise you, you're not gonna beat me. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Go ahead. You have a last.
No, I mean Priest is just that deck right now, that #1 public enemy deck where I don't care if I lose against every other deck, but if I can just beat down Priest, because like the feeling you get
successful day.
Yeah. You can 100% win rate against Priest, 0% win rate against the other class. That's success.
Call that a win.
I would like to see what the meta would be like without it. If that Priest didn't exist, I think we would see other Priests, to be honest. I think other Priests would actually be in the tier 2 and range if Machine Gun Priest was just out of here. So I'd really love to see what that would be like. That would be awesome. All right, Ahmed N. with the new Twitch plugin, can Hearthstone tournaments finally show deck lists as it can be minimized or maximized? You know, it's never been about whether they can show deck lists or not. They've just chosen not to show deck lists. Like, they don't want to show deck lists. That's like an actual choice that they've made. At least that's what I've heard. And I've never agreed with that. But so they're not going to do it, Ahmed. I'd be shocked if they did it. I personally would like to see them do it just because I think that the more information the spectators have, the more accessible it is, and the better it is just to really show what the story is of this game, you know, and how things are playing out. You know, like a lot of times we just don't know what the percentages are, what chance like something's coming up, you know, nobody knows, right? If you showed all the deck lists, we know that they only have 5 cards left, and oh my god, is he going to get it right now? You know, that sort of thing. Like you really feel that tension versus, you know, Frodan or whoever, you know, Sottle or hey, there's 5 cards in their deck and he draws. You know, there's like a difference between visually seeing it and hearing it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about showing deck lists?
You mean like during the game, right?
Yeah, like old school, like what we used to do. I mean, I used to do it back in Deck Wars, but like the concept would be to show the deck list and then show the cards, like marking out the cards that have been played, like graying them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the big issue is just like space.
Yeah, that's
But,
what I was gonna say.
You could
but
still do
like if
it.
it's
Top bump.
a slide in like towards like a critical moment, like near fatigue or like 3 cards left, like just slide it in for like 10 seconds, let the casters like point out the options remaining and then slide it back out. I think that's totally fine. And it's like, I think it's something they should do,
Mhm.
but I think they can't just put it there because it's like 2 deck lists. They got the faces on the left. It's literally like the minimum amount of space they have for the board, like the portrait, the cards, and the
Yeah,
deck
they
size
would
on the
have to
right.
do like top right, bottom left, like kind of that old type of format, which is not quite as good as having both cams on the same side, I would say, but
Yeah.
they could still fit it if they really, really wanted to. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with Toast there. I think it just comes down to space. Like for me personally, I feel like I need to have a lot of the board state, or I don't know. Maybe it's just a
Yeah.
personal
No.
pet peeve.
Yeah.
So
I think the viewers are just very visual people. It's like they just want to see it. Like you could technically play a game of Hearthstone with just text, right? It's like you can have all that information on paper, and you like any good player would be able to like know exactly what's going on. But the best thing about Hearthstone is just being able to see, oh, look at these crazy effects, like sparkly, like the way it drags, the way like it comes into the field, like when you punch someone in the face for 30 damage, like that oomph, like that's what
That
Hearthstone.
oomph.
Yeah, it's like boom, it's like and then people clapping.
Satisfaction.
Kind of yeah, like it's a big part of Blizzard's mentality and their like mission is to make it as visually appealing as possible. So I think that's the main reason why they don't want to like here's the deck list and just have it eat up like 10% of the space.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the questions, guys. Thanks for writing in. Again, send those in to valuetown@chanmanv.tv and we'll get to them. But we're going to wrap it up. I think we're all going to be at TwitchCon this coming, actually tomorrow. I think I fly out tomorrow. I think you guys probably fly out tomorrow too. So I will see you guys there. What are y'all's plans? Like, what are you guys doing at TwitchCon?
For me, the Oktoberbrawl event is actually on Friday.
Okay.
I don't have like all of the specifics yet, so I don't want to say something. I believe it's at 1 p.m. on Friday, but just stay tuned. I'll tweet about it. Jack, I'm sure everyone will be tweeting about it, but that'll be on Friday. And then other than that, I don't know. I'm just going to have a good time, try and talk to a bunch of people and see some cool panels,
Yeah. Gotta watch the podcast panel on Saturday.
Yeah, the podcast panel. Yeah.
Yours truly will be. Yours truly will be there. Toast, how about you? What are you gonna be doing at TwitchCon?
Nothing that noticeable. I'm just chilling.
No, that's okay, man. Chilling is the best kind of. It's the best way to get to, I think, attend TwitchCon and BlizzCon when you don't have to work.
Just enjoying the sites.
Yeah.
Talking to other streamers.
You didn't go last year, right? Like, have you? This is your first?
No, I wasn't cool last year, but this year I'm cool now.
Didn't make it last year.
Please, man, please. Okay, well, anyways, I'll see you guys there. Yeah, so I'm doing a podcast panel with Kicked Tribe by John from Well Met and The Payload. If you guys watch any of those podcasts, and Total Biscuit too. So check that out. That's going to be in PJ Sugar at 12, and then I'm doing Streamer Showdown on the Glitch stage at 1:30 on Saturday with DJ Wheat hosting and Man vs. Game, Bikeman, and Elspeth. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, and we got an awesome surprise too for so if you're at TwitchCon, go and watch Streamer Showdown because you have a chance to win something really cool if you're there. We kind of tied that into Streamer Showdown, and we're gonna surprise everybody once we get there. So yeah, just a little bit of a teaser there, but we'll be back, of course, obviously with Valuetown and Jackie next week. So hopefully you guys tune in. There's obviously Jackie's channel, but you want to do any shout outs, Toast, before we go?
A shout out. I every time you ask me to do shout out, I never know what to say.
That's because you don't respond
neither
to
do
invite
I.
anybody. Like you're like your own lone wolf, man. Like so.
Shout out to Valley Town for
Ooh,
inviting me.
nice.
Shout out to who else should I shout out?
Mom.
Mom.
Parents?
Shout out to mom for giving birth
Okay.
to me, and shout out to Twitch chat, of course, with your support and your constant criticism of my Hearthstone gameplay. It
Your
really
PUBG
helps
see
me.
that.
PUBG gameplay recently.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, you're good at PUBG. I was watching the other night. You were
Just cut that stairwell.
Pretty
down.
good.
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I've been practicing with pro players.
Yeah.
Like I'm the best Hearthstone player in the world right now. So my next goal is to become the best PUBG player in the world,
I
and
see.
I'm almost there.
Is this a theme on our podcast right now? When is this? no.
But yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, anyways, you guys know where to find Toast. I mean, you can find him on this Twitch channel, DisguisedToast.
Yeah, they know where to
it's
find
better.
him. Everyone
You guys know. But Allie, you want to do some
Google.
shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to Fade to Karma, mine and Jackie's team. Obviously, Jackie's not here, but Jackie will actually be here at my house for next week's show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, so we gotta figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Shout out to Team Light for those of you still, supporting me with the Team Light card backs. The patrons, gracias. Thank you for allowing us to do what we do. We really love you and appreciate you. The chat, Toast beat me to that, so whatever. And whatever. And yeah, I think that's it. So.
All right,
Yep.
cool. Yeah, I'll round things out by thanking, obviously, to you guys for doing the show. It was a lot of fun today. Also, thanks to all the patrons for supporting the show. You guys are amazing. And Great Shoes for sponsoring this episode. Those of you that are looking for any kind of awesome shoes to wear, go to greats.com and check out the variety of shoes they have in their catalog and use the value promotion or the value promo code to get 15% off. So do that. And if you want to find the VODs for this episode or any of the shows, go to youtube.com/ChanManV. And you can find us on iTunes as well as Google Podcast or Google Play and SoundCloud.com/ChanManV. And if you like the show, leave us a nice rating because it really helps out SEO wise. But that's going to be it, guys, for Value Town this week. So for DisguisedToast, Alliestrasza, and myself, ChanManV. I'll see you next
Bye,
week.
guys. Adios.